approve this project.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Dahl, second by Mr. Hansi. Are there any other questions and comments?
It just seems like we're spending an awful lot of money on public works this year. To me.
It is in the budget in the building. There is that possibility of spending that money in a fine if you get, as far as that leaching, that's really not a good thing to have.
And that'll be considerably more than that 12,000-14,000.
Yeah, that happened to us in Lanesboro when I was there. Cause their pile was right up against the river. And, you know, years past, no one thought of it. But,
It was the guy that does the lead, or that's the training guy.
MMUA and
MMUA.
yeah.
He was down,
Safety.
we get a day with him when he comes to Rushford for a training class and goes over things in the shops, and he was the one that pointed out our situation there, and something that should be done with it.
but I think though, to speak to your concern, council member, this has been kind of a interesting first part of the year for Public Works with the pickup trucks coming due, and a lot of that stuff we had delayed, and, it's kind of come around time for doing it. I think the only thing we didn't really plan for was a big truck, but, we got such a deal on it, and we had the money set aside that it seemed like it was a good time to do it. The council, of course, supported that. So nothing has really come up that I'm aware of that's kind of like a surprise. We've had the money in the budget to do it.
It was, like you said, the truck came along, we've been thinking about it over the past few years and wondering how we were going to do that. And when that particular truck came along is when we jumped on that. Same way with that mower that we got. It was just finally finding the right one to suit our needs for the right price, and trying to, you know, be frugal in your spending, but still getting equipment to do the necessary work too.
I'm assuming you guys would have already looked at it, but is there anything out there for any kind of grants or matching grants type things for facilities like this for
That I don't
cities?
know.
Well, I haven't seen anything like that.
Okay.
Not unless something had been damaged.
Okay.
It's another one of those mandates, you know, with no money behind it.
The thing too is that all of these, you know, between the mower, the truck, this building, and other things, the sweeper, they each have their own line item in the budget, so there's been money specifically for each of those things. It's not coming out of one big pot, it's coming out of several years worth of building up those funds to get to that.
No, but it seems like we increased the sewer rates, and now all of a sudden we're spending money.
But they're not connected at all. The sewer fund is its
So
own
where's this
fund.
money coming from?
The capital projects fund. It's many years worth of capital projects fund building up until we get enough money to buy that truck, or until we get enough money to do the thing that you need to do.
So 6, 7 items that we bought in the first 5 months, what are we gonna buy in the next 6?
Depends on what good deals they find.
Well, the next,
Maybe nothing.
yeah, the next,
Took care of the sweeper.
right,
You got the big dump truck. Your front end loader is on a rotational deal.
right,
Mowers,
yep. Pickup in 2 years, and the payloader's probably, I don't know offhand, but it's,
I think it's 2 years.
yeah.
isn't it?
2 or 3 is what I was,
Yeah, cause we do it over a 2-year deal, do like a payment and then, so,
It's been since the flood that a lot of these things have been addressed at all. It's been 8 years of building up the funds to get to being able to do it now.
again, there has been an awful lot of purchases, it's just that money's been set aside for those reasons. And it's not, we're not just spending it because we have it, we're spending it because we need it.
Things are pretty well, all set to go. Shouldn't be any more major expenses at all.
We just wanna start fixing streets. That'll be big money.
Alright. Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes, Mr. Colby's opposed.
thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Any follow-up? Alright. Move on to 8B. The following list represents the documentation that the 5-year term has been met. The 75% forgivable installments, $100,000, have been applied, and the next installment, either 1 of 5 or 2 of 5, of the 20% forgivable amount shall now be forgiven, with the remaining balance to be forgiven in equal installments until said balance is at 0, at which time the collateral assignments applied to property affected may be removed. Got that? Approval of attached resolutions. 2015, 36 through 040.
And again, these loans they're just in their 5-year period of time, so every year, as long as they're stay current, they're asked, the council's asked to move these resolutions along.
I'll move to approve these resolutions 2015-036 through 040.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bunky, second by Mr. Dahl. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Move on to 8C, consideration of accepting the recommendation for the second phase of the Safe Routes to School, SRTS, infrastructure grant to retain a consultant to apply for funding to construct the trail system identified by the planning grant process. RP School and the city will share the cost of the grant submittal. See attached memo, drawing, and the 2 proposals received.
Your Honors, council will recall, a couple years ago, we received a grant to do the planning phase of the Safe Routes to School program, and that grant helped us to go through a community-wide process and identified links that we were missing throughout the community for bike and walking paths. The emphasis of that project was the safe movement of folks to the school site and also to the downtown area. Several trail corridors were identified, and then we held off on final adoption of the program until the school referendum, because we knew if that went through, it was going to could significantly impact the trail plan that we were going to present to the community. Following the passage of the referendum, we noticed that there would be a use for a new trail alignment that would generally go through the cornfield north of the church in Brooklyn, because the roads through Tyrrell Hills are too narrow to accept the traffic, and then have bike riding and walking on it at the same time. So I've a little hand-drawn map that I've presented on the back of your agenda statement. Is generally the infrastructure projects that we're going to be looking at. The trail alignments in red would be the first priority, and then the second priority would be the North Trail and the crosswalks. Probably only 1 or 2 of the crosswalk intersections, not all 3 of them is being shown.